When I was growing up in Cape.
Okay, there we go. You can all press your little zoom buttons. All right. Okay, here we go. So we're controlled once and then smooth the second time. Ready, go. Now, no stop. Let's give it a go. Ready, and. All right. How do people feel about their double stops? Doing pretty good? Does anybody want to try playing it for me? Because there's so many kind of common pitfalls when you're trying to do double stops. And it'd be great to see how you're doing and if I can help with any of that. Does anybody want to play that for me? What we just did? How about we try it again first? Let's try it again first. Then I want somebody to play it. You can work up your courage. Okay, smooth, no breaks. Ready, go. Mine was excellent. Very, very good. Now, who's brave enough to give it a go for me? Heather's gonna. Right on. This way I can see how you did tuning your fiddle, too.
Yeah, that'll be a good test. Okay.
Okay, now Heather, that was actually pretty good. What I like, now I know that you weren't always touching both strings. Does everybody is kind of having a similar experience there where you're periodically, it's normal in this procedure, it's normal. But what I liked was when your bow was on both strings, you were getting the right sound out of those both strings. It wasn't kind of digging in to get them. It was a nice clear ring. Now it was sporadic, sometimes your bow went off the other string or whatever, but when it did engage, it was engaging really nicely, okay? So basically it's just a matter of trying to watch that tiller and make sure it doesn't kind of come off of that string or do whatever. On the up bow, for instance, I noticed on A and D, right? Now when you watch me do A and D, watch what I do here. Now, if I don't do anything with my left hand or my right hand, this is what happens. Okay, now watch what I do. Now, you can't really see it. I was hoping you would see it, but I do a little bit of this here. See that? To get the nose of the bow a little bit into that D that wants to come off. See that? A little bit of this here. And I've showed you guys about this, right? The teeter-totter, yeah, we talked about it a long time ago. So that's the thumb's job and the forefinger and the pinky is to do that. And so when I'm doing that up bow double stop, I kind of lean into that tip, get that nose into the ground a little bit more so that to avoid that, okay? So I'll do it again for you to show you. I don't know, you can't really see it. It's a micro movement. You can't really see it, but I'm picking up the arse end and I'm putting that nose in to the ground as I do that, okay? But yeah, your progress is totally normal there, Heather. If you just keep doing it mindfully, you're going to get a good sound on those double stops, okay? Does anybody else
That
want
tip
to
that
try
you
it?
just gave,
Yeah.
Dan, that tip that you just gave about bring the nose down a bit, it just made it easy. It like
Perfect.
instantly worked.
That's great. See, there you
Thank
go.
you.
That's excellent. That's great. No problem at all. Here, let's do it again. Let's everybody do it again with that in mind, okay? This is the arse, this is the nose. You got to kind of balance those two ends of the bow. Here we go. Ready? Go. Oh, mine were nice. Mine were very nice. So how did we do that time? A little bit more success rate? Yes, Deborah.
I'm getting a crunch every time I do my A and D together when I start.
Yeah. Okay, let me hear it. Well, do it for me.
It's like I can't find the perfect balance, and I think I'm biting down too
I
hard.
think you are. Now, see, the reason I asked you to show me is because the crunch is very common when you're trying to do double stops, but it can be caused by two things. The first thing it can be caused by is what you're talking about, bearing down on it. Okay. And it's an instinct. When people do double stops, for some reason, the instinct is to kind of press down till you get both strings. And it's your hand's instinct. It's not your brain. It's just what your hand wants to do. And I think that's what's going on with you. The other cause of crunching when you're doing double stops is a failure to move the bow. This here. See that? Yeah. And it's so common with double stops because you're kind of trying to get that approach right. And you're kind of like, But usually if you just put that gas pedal on, it's probably going to work out. But for you, I think it might have been the pressing down. Try it again with no pressing at all. No pressing at all. Totally just letting the bow sit there.
I'm trying to find the angle that's right. Hey, no crunch.
Nice. That now the up bow on the EA, that worked out. Did you hear that? The
Yeah.
down bow, you had way too much weight on the E, but the up bow, that weight went away and it was allowed to ring. But your AD one was very good. Do you see the difference there? So yeah, digging in does not do you any good when it comes to double stops. It's the worst thing to do. First of all, it makes you crunch. Second of all, it puts you flat. Did you hear that on the E string?
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly the open E that's in tune is flat big time, and it's because of that. Okay, so gentle, gentle. Let's do it again one more time. Okay, here we go. Ready? GD. All right. Everybody getting a little bit better results there? That's great. Good, good, good. Any questions or comments about doing the double stops? Or does anybody else want to try it for me? I mean, you're totally welcome to if you want to. But is there any other questions or comments about the double stops before we leave it for another week? No? Great. Okay. So now let's work on some intonation. First of all, we're going to go up and down our G major scale as usual because it's such good practice. G for good. And then we're going to try some drop downs in that key. Okay. Now, does everybody try out the drop downs this week? How are you getting along? Is it starting to get the idea there what you're supposed to do? That's great. Okay, good. So yeah. So first of all, we'll just go up and down the scale, get the left hand kind of activated, and then we'll take a look at those drop downs. Okay. Okay, here we go. G major scale. Ready? Don't worry, Bill. We'll keep working on it until we win them over. Don't worry about it. Okay, now let's do an arpeggio quick while we're at it. While Bill's busy being the jailer. Ready, and... One more arpeggio, but a little faster this time. Just a touch faster. See how you do. Ready, and... Okay, how did everybody do with the arpeggio with a little bit faster? Was it okay? Oh, that's good. Now, you see, I did that because arpeggios are really the things that show up the drop-down practice effects. Like people start to notice an improvement in getting their arpeggios the first try very quickly after working on drop-downs. So that's really, really good. Now, let's try some drop-downs, okay? We'll start with good old D. It's the first note I play on this thing when I get it out of the box every time, and I love that note. And so I'm going to play you a D for a while, and I want you to listen to it and get the sound of it ringing around in your head so that you can zero in on it, okay? You got the cat in jail there, Bill? That's good, man. Oh, you're muted. That's good. That's great. Okay, so here's your D. This is going to be the middle D on your fiddle, D5. And you can go ahead and play it along with me if you want. It'll help. Try to match me. And try to take note of your finger pressure. And, of course, your position on the neck. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to do some drop downs. Open and then 3. I'm going to do 5 of them, and hopefully your success rate will be good. Ready, and... All right. How's everybody feeling about the D? So we did 5. Show me with your fingers how many you got in tune out of 5. You got 5. Oh, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's good. That's better than last week. That's really good for everybody involved. Let's do it again. So good, you got to do it again. Okay, here we go. Ready? We'll do 5 more. Ready, go. One more. All right. That time, give me your fingers. How did you do that time? Ooh, yeah. See, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. 4 for Bill. That's really good. That's an improvement for everybody again. Now let's switch gears. Let's make it easy. We're going to do some G drop downs on the D string, okay? Let me play the note for you. They call G the people's key. Now, when you're doing this, it's really important to try to take note of the differences between D and G, you know, little subtle things that you can catch so that you recognize when you're in tune. Now, one thing, the reason they call it the people's key is because it's the most common range for singing, right in around here. Now, this is low, but this here, and that's why Happy Birthday is always in G when they sing it at the restaurant. It's kind of the easiest for everybody to sing. So think about that when you're playing the note. Okay, drop down time. Here we go. 5 tries. Ready, and... All right, success rate? 4, 5, 5, 5. 4. Awesome, guys. Let's do it one more time. Ready, go. One more. All right, success rate? 5. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Yeah. Okay. Now, what do you think is harder? How many people find the high A harder than the high C? Both of them are challenging. Who finds the high A more challenging than the high C or the low C? You do? Yeah. What about who finds the low C more challenging? The third finger on the G string. Yeah, it's more common, eh? It's because you got to reach over there. And of course it's going to, and when I reach over there, I yank that elbow over. See that? And that means that this whole apparatus, fingering apparatus, can move over to the G string and just come down like normal. You don't have to do weird stretching or reaching with your finger, causing you to come down in a weird way. So I crank that elbow over and I come right down on her, and I usually get her right away. Now the E string, some people find the E3 hard because when you move your hand over there, you have a tendency to be sharp. Okay, so that's the danger of that one. So why don't we, since everybody had an easier time with the high A, let's start with that one. So I'm going to play it for you. I love this note. It's one of, on my German, it's a wicked note. Rings like a bell for a million years. Still going. Love that. Okay, so now here we go. Ready? Drop downs. 5 of them. Ready? And. Okay, now I got 4 that time. Did anybody notice my little gaffe? Where my first try was not in tune. Did anybody notice that? You did hear it. That's great. That's the other problem with the high A is that the higher you go on the fiddle, the more apparent it is when you're at a tune. All right. When you're really, really up high, then it gets really like when you're a little flat, it's like, whoa. Whereas in the middle of the instrument, it's not quite as noticeable. Okay. So again, I'm going to try for 5 out of 5 this time. Oh, and my E string is a little sharp. I'm going to check my fiddle once more. It is humid in this garage. That's better. Okay, that's good. Okay, here we go. Drop downs on the high A. Here we go. Ready and. God. One more. Okay, I still got 4 out of 5. How did you guys do? 2, 4, 3, 5, 4 for Deborah, 5 for Elaine. That's great. So that's good. It is harder. You can hear that it's harder. It's a more fragile note, okay, when it moves around easy. And that's because the E string has more torque down on the bridge than all the other strings put together. So it's very susceptible to pressure. Make sure you use a light touch on the E. If you start to heave in with it with your finger, it can wiggle, okay? Now let's go down to the low C. All right, let me play it for you. C is not a good note on the fiddle. It's one of those half notes. Here it is. It's middle C on the piano is what you're playing here, okay? So now, let's give it a go. Open and then 3. How did we do, guys? 3, 2, 4. Pretty good. It's harder. Let's give it a little bit more. 4 for you, Deborah? Or did you get 5? 5, yeah, right on. That's great. Okay, let's do some more. This one needs extra work. And I'm going to play it for another minute. And you guys play it too. Zero in on it. Listen to that C. Okay, here we go. Open and then 3. Ready, go. Okay, how did we do that time? I got 5. How'd you guys do? Oh, see, that's great. That's good. 5, 4, really good. 5, 4, excellent. Okay, so we're making some progress with the third finger. That's really, really good. Let's try some first finger drop downs. Okay, has anybody got any questions about any of those third finger notes though before we move on?
I'm playing spectacularly. It's barely off. I have my tunable set right next to my iPad, and I think it's reading you instead of me.
Ah! That you make a very good point there, Deborah. Now, most of the time that won't happen if you got your tuner closer to you. But hey, Elaine, do you remember that program you were using there for a while called Tonal Energy that played the note that you were trying to play while you were trying to play it? Do you remember that app?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I still have it actually.
Yeah, and it worked pretty good, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem with it is it's a really cool program. It's an app for your phone, and it hears the note that you're trying to play, and it knows what note you're really trying to play, and so it starts playing it for you. you know, so you can hear it. Now the problem with it, and me and Elaine figured out how to get around the problem, but the problem with it when we first started using it was exactly that. The actual tuner, the visual tuner on the app couldn't hear Elaine, it could only hear itself, right? So what we did was the earbud in one ear. See that? And so then the tuner can't hear itself. It only hears you. And that really worked. I remember it worked for you, Elaine. And you got off of that pretty quickly and able to kind of make some progress because of the combination. You're hearing the note and matching the note, and you got the visual telling you how far you are off. See that? And it really shortened the process. So, you know, you just have your phone closer to you. But if it's a chronic problem, then the headphones are your answer. Okay, let's do a few more on that C because it's such a problem, that note. And then we're going to try first finger drop downs. See, it even wants to wander while I'm playing it, and that's because the G is so loose. That's just my bow doing that. And the tuner responds. It goes, Anyway, here we go. Open and then 3. Ready, go. How do we do that time, ladies and gentlemen? 4, 4, 4. See, that's a little better. 4 for Deborah. 3. Okay, so maybe it was hearing me before, but that's okay. 3 is still really, really good. Okay, so now let's think about those first finger notes. Every one of them, except for the low A, is a bugger. Hard to hear. Really, really hard to hear those first finger notes because they're not notes that speak on the fiddle. So the low A speaks nicely on the fiddle. Listen to this note. See, that's still ringing. It's a beautiful note. And the reason that the fiddle reacts to the A so much is that the whole back is a big A. When you knock on that thing, it makes an A in front of the tuner. And so if you get that low A right, the whole back of the fiddle is going to respond as well as the front of the fiddle. Okay? No, it's not going to make an A right now, Catherine. It's when the fiddle maker has the back of the fiddle in his hand and he's carving it. That's the way he gets it to be the right carving, depth and everything, is by hitting it in front of a tuner or an oscilloscope in the old days. And before they had oscilloscopes, they like Stradivari, for instance, he would put iron filings on the back of the fiddle and tap it. And if the iron filings settled in a certain pattern, he knows it's an A. See that? And that's how they did it in those days. I can't imagine. Now they just use tuners. But that's why it rings out so much. So let's play that note again. Everybody play your low A and listen to the richness of that whole instrument ringing. Okay, so now let's do some low A's because it really is the easiest one, believe it or not. Open and then 1. Ready, go. Okay, I got 5. How'd we do? 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. Hey, that's great. Very, very good. Let's do it again right away. Okay, ready, and. Okay, I got 5. How'd you guys do? 4, 4, 5. That's great. 4. How'd you do, Elaine? I didn't see your hand. 5. That's great. I know you've been working on these a while. Good success. Okay, so that's the low A. That's the easy one. All right. Now E or B on the D or A, they're both hard. Okay, they're both hard to hear even when they're in tune. Let's start with the D because it's right next to the A. I'm going to play it for you. There's no ring or anything you can get. That's the E in tune. Now, with these first finger notes that don't speak, I often will now play you the E a little bit flat and then the E a little bit sharp so that your ear can have an idea what it sounds like when you're out of tune. That way you can make it change. So here's the E again. Here it is flat. Here it is in tune again. Now, side by side, could you guys perceive the difference between the flat E and the regular E? Yeah, that's really the only way to do it is the side by side. Now, here it is sharp. Here it is in tune again. See that? Not much of a difference there. The side by side helps, but otherwise it's a hard one, okay? So it requires extra work. So anyway, let's give it a few. Let's try a few. Here it is again in tune. I have a lot of finger pressure down for my low E. You might be the same. So let's give it a go. Open and then one. Ready? Go. How we do? 5. Yes, this is working so good. 4. That's really, really good. Now, let's do it again. Since you got it so good and you're so smart, you better do it again. Ready? And. One more. I'm giving myself a 4 because my fourth one wiggled a little bit. 5, that's good. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 4, 3. That's excellent. You guys are coming along great. So that's the E. And it does require extra work, and I suggest that you do that extra work to get it out of the way and be mindful of how much pressure. For most people, it's more pressure than, say, the third finger notes, but be mindful of your own hand. Now, here's the B. B for bugger. It's a hard one to tune. Here it is flat. Now, to me, that flat B sounds just like a very dull light to me. That's how I know that it's flat. It's because it sounds like a dull light. It's not giving off much light. And when you bring it into tune, here it is flat. When you bring it into tune, it's like kind of like the light comes on a little bit. See that? Now here's the sharp B. And in tune again. Now to me, the sharp B is like the light is too bright. You see that? And it's hurting my eyes. And that's sort of how I recognize the sound of that sharp B, is because it's got an edge to it. So I'm going to give you the in tune one once more, and then we're going to do a bunch of them. So here's the in tune B once more. Cleanse the palate. Okay, here we go. Ready? Open and then one. Ready, and. Really good. Really, really good. That's excellent. Excellent. Let's do it again. Ready, and. Yeah. Okay, I got a 5. How'd you guys do? 5, 5, 5. Really good. Oh, this is working great. 4. See, now that's really good. That's exactly kind of how we should be getting along. Now, the last one for the first finger ones is F sharp. It does speak a little bit more than the other first finger notes. See, not much, just a little bit more. It's bright. Now, here it is flat. And here it is in tune. Now you see how that's a little bit more noticeable than the other ones. Here it is sharp. Here it is in tune. Not much of a difference there, I'm afraid. Okay, so you got to hone in. So here it is once more. You want to match it. And I got a lot of finger pressure when I get that F sharp in tune. I got a lot of finger pressure. So let's try it. Open and then 1. Ready, go. All right, how'd we do? 5, that's great. 4, 5, that's great. Yep, Bill's doing good. Okay, that's really good. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but when I was playing those F sharps, my bow, I was experimenting with it, my bow made the pitch very slightly because I was kind of playing with the steadiness of the speed, because that might be a problem you guys come up against. If your bow is not steady speed on the E string, it can flatten you like crazy, right? Without it even being your finger's fault. It's like your finger could be in the exact right place, but the E is especially sensitive to that bow gas pedal. So let's try a few more with that in mind, okay? Same thing. Here we go. Ready, and. One more. Now I got a 5 that time. I was careful with my bow and I didn't let it vary. 4, 5, 4, it's great. 3 is still good. 4 is really good, so that's great. Okay, so now you got a good method for playing those first finger drop downs, and I'll make a video of the notes so you can get to know them. So that's the low A, the E on the D string, the B on the A string, that's the middle B, and the F sharp on the E string, and that's the high F sharp, because we only have 2 of those before we got a shift, okay? Wow, that was a workout. Is there any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints about the drop downs on the first finger? Yes, Catherine?
Is it better to do it with the tuner or not?
Oh, that's a very good question. Usually what I do is with the tuner, when the success rate starts getting better, point over here instead. Do your drop down, decide whether it's in tune, and then look at the tuner to see if you're right or not. You see what I mean? That's the best way to progress. It's a very good question, you know. For some people, they needed more time with the tuner in front of them. For some people, they kind of jump right to doing it with the tuner adjacent a lot quicker. So it really is up to you, but that's going to be the kind of fine line there. And then when you do take away the tuner, you realize you're taking off your training wheels and you're going to get a lot stronger, okay? Very good question. Yes, Bill?
I find that if I'm playing, I've even got the thing on my seat that if I'm playing that high E string, my elbow hits my knee.
Yes. Now, the way that they deal with that for classical orchestra violinists, which I always like to show the way that they deal with these problems first because it's the easy way, okay? It's not the way that I do it, but it is really the easiest way to keep out of the range of your knee, and that is that the violinists sit like this. See that? So on the corner of your chair with your right leg dropped as if you were genuflecting. I don't know if anybody's Catholic, but I grew up Catholic and I did a lot of genuflecting. And so basically that's what you're doing. And it gives your right arm complete freedom of the E string. See that? There's nothing to hit it at all. It's not going to hit anything at all. And that's the way that they do it in the orchestra. So they used to say you sit on the chair as if you're about to get up out of the chair. That's how you sit in it, with your right leg dropped. And you could get up if you want to. See that? And it gives you complete access to the E string with no bumping at all.
Wow.
Okay? That's the way they do it. That's not the way I do it. I do the man spread that they tell you not to do on the subway. See that? I just open or wide open and just do like that. Or, of course, I play standing up, which if you're chronically banging your knee when you play the fiddle, stand up. That's the best thing to do. It really is the best way to play. And when I play in the studio, when I make recordings for my own band or for other people, I'm always standing. Always. Okay, does that help you, Bill?
I'm 89. I can't stand up that long.
I think you should drop your knee and you probably get along really good.
Yeah, well, I can see that works, but I don't know how you could keep doing that forever. I mean, you
Well,
just sit
yeah.
there all the time.
Or you just do the man spread like I do. Here, look, I'll show you. I'll grab the fiddle here. You can see. See that? No problem at all. But so that's the way that I do it. But I always like to tell people the proper way because it seems right. And it really is the easiest way if you get the hang of it. That's the thing. You have to get the hang of it. And then it really is the easiest way. But so those are the three ways you can deal with that. Drop the knee, spread the legs, or stand up. Okay? But it's a very, very good and very common problem. So it's a good question. Anybody else have any questions about the drop downs? The first finger drop downs? No, just got to grind away at it? Yes, that's right. So you might be tempted this week to work on second finger drop downs on your own. Let me tell you this before you start. Do both positions, the high position and the low position. Because unlike the first finger and the third finger, we use both positions of the two a lot. Like almost every tune, you have to use the high two or the low two. So it really needs to practice both positions. The first finger and third finger pretty well use the same spot all the time, unless you got to stretch your third a little bit. Other than that, it's pretty standard. But the two, you really got to get used to both, okay? So if you're trying the two this week, that's the way to do it. Now, I'd say that's enough of that foolishness, don't you? And we learned a lovely tune last week there, the Off to California. How did everybody get along practicing that this week? Pretty good? It's not too hard. It's a fun tune because it's not too hard. Yeah, that's good. So while you're getting it out, let me play it a couple of times and then we're going to start in on it, practicing it. Okay, everybody got that ringing around? All right. So why don't we try it at a really nice slow tempo? I'm thinking something like this. You think that's going to work out, that tempo? Let's give it a go, shall we? We'll see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? Okay. 1, 2, 3. One more time. Okay. All of the folks at home. How are we doing with Off to California? Is there anybody having any problems or bits or pieces that I can help with before we try speeding it up? Yes, Deborah.
There's one set. I'll hold this up. It is this piece here. When you get to the second part and it's going da 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 da, that next bit.
Dappa dappy daddle daddle. That
Yeah.
bar there?
Yeah. I
Okay.
can't seem to get that the rhythm of it, and I can't seem to get it to stay. And every time I play it, it's like, I'll get it next time. I'll get it next time. And I never get it.
Do this for me. Take your fiddle and play just that bar that you have so carefully highlighted there on your music. Just that bar. And do it for me twice.
Oh. The next piece.
Just that bar. So I think it was this one. That part there?
Yes, just
Okay.
after little step down things.
Yeah. So that's very, if you think about it and boil it down, all it is it's kind of like you're rocking the bow. You're going E to the D, back to the E, to the F, back to the E, to the D, B, and then to the B. See how that's kind of repetitive? Try that for me. Good. Do it again just like that, except better. Perfect. That's great. Okay. Now, back up a little bit and try to get into it. Start the second part for me. See if it's easier.
Give me the first note.
That's a G. Yeah, that's her. You got it.
Hallelujah.
Does that help? So
Yeah.
whenever you have a bit that won't, I always say, when I'm learning a tune by ear, I always say there's either a lick or a note that won't go in or won't come out. So either there's a bit that I can't get in there, or there's a bit I keep playing that is not the tune that I can't get out. You know what I mean? So whenever there's a bit like that, whenever I have a bit like that, I pull it out and I play it on its own 2 or 3 times, and then I back up and I try to get into it. And it's always easier once I've played it just on its own out of context. Okay? And that's what happened to you there. That was much, much better. Anybody else have any bits or pieces in the Off to California that I can help with? Anything at all?
Yeah, Dan?
Yeah.
On the, actually, the next bar, the next 2 bars, I'm not hearing the notes. The notes that I'm seeing here I'm not hearing from you.
And that might be me because I don't have my usual thingy where I get to look at the music while I'm playing with you guys, but it could be me. Let me just check the version. So I was playing a little triplet up sometimes, which is nice if you want to do it. Many people do it that way. So instead of you go, see that?
Okay.
That's all. Sorry about that. That was my own.
No, that's okay.
I learned too many versions of music. That's what Ross keeps telling me. But he's a Highland piper. They're very uptight about that type of thing. Anyway, so that's what's going on there. So I'll stick to the music from now on. Thank you, Elaine. Anybody else got any bits or pieces that's confusing? Or that I'm confusing? Okay, let's give it another try. Same tempo, but I would like to speed it up tonight. Let's try it 2 times at this tempo, and then we'll try speeding her up a tiny bit, okay? 1, 2, 3. All right. How did that go? Better? Better with the bits that you were talking about? That's really good. Good, good. Any reason why we couldn't play it a little faster? Now, that was pretty slow, even for hornpipe speeds. If you could imagine the poor girl trying to get her triplets in on that one, it would be pretty tiring because of the slow tempo. They actually find it harder to go slow, dancers, you know, because it's more hanging your foot in the air, like it's more work to go slow. So you got to get the right tempo for them to snap around. So let's see. Let's get her up a little tiny bit quicker. Let's see if we can do like this. See that tempo? Now I can see her. She's hopping around. I mean, she'd still be giving me a few dirty looks at that tempo, I gotta tell you. Like, there'd be a few snatched glances, like, you know, come on. And you know what they do, what the dancers do when the tempo is not fast enough, they give you a little off to the side, they go, and that means you gotta pick it up a little bit, you know? Anyway, let's see if we can do it at that tempo. I don't think there'd be a problem with it. Let's give it a go.
Quick question, Dan.
Yep.
On the between the A and the B section,
Yep.
we have a triplet.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, we'll do
Yeah,
that triplet. We'll do that triplet there, Elaine. Thanks again
Okay.
for pointing that out. Triplet pickup. Got it. Most people do play a B and a D as a pickup. Good to be aware, because if you went down to a session, you might hear a B and a D instead of a triplet. But we'll do you also hear the triplet, no question about it. But the B and the D a little bit more prevalent. Let's get ready to do it. We'll do the triplet. Okay, so now let's see how we can get this dance tune going. 1, 2, 3. Heather. Ooh, now people looked like they were having fun. And that's why I went for the third time and sped it up a bit, because I saw people kind of grooving. And then when we got into the faster tempo, there was even more grooving going on, which is an extremely good sign. You don't do that if you're struggling. So that's really, really good. Now, how did you get along with the faster tempo? Not bad? Oh, Heather, what happened? Tell me. Whenever a tempo is an issue, I always want to know what's the first thing that happened that stopped you.
I find this one really jumpy from note to note. I feel like you're all over, like you're on the E and the A and the D string, like pretty fast. So
Yes.
I just can't go fast yet. And I'm not hearing the B part. I'm not hearing it musically yet.
Okay, yeah. Okay, now you make a couple of really, really good points. So when you go fast, if the string crossing, and you're right about this tune, it does use 3 strings, right? It uses almost the whole fiddle. And there's a lot of string changing, and that's true. So if that's what stops you when you're going fast, that tells me that the string changing you're doing has too much meat in the game. So using too much of your arm to do it, because as soon as the tempo goes up, that becomes impossible. See that? Soon as you get to a certain tempo, it's like, I call it the funky chicken. It's a lot of work. It's really hard to change strings that way. And so you might consider the old doorway. Okay, it might eliminate that problem, and you'd be surprised how quick you can go if you don't have your meat in the game, as it were. Okay, so that's the first thing it tells me. The second thing about the second part there, one thing to remember, it might help you get it in your head musically. It might help, but there's only 2 bars really that are different. Is there? No, 4 bars, I guess. 4 bars different than the A part. Read that? So the first bit of the B part is different than the A part. You got these little scales. But then we're back to the B part, or the A part. Which I think you can hear. See what I mean? So just try to think about it that way. It's only 4 bars. It will get in there, but just make sure you concentrate on it is only 2 bars. Yeah, there you go. See? So make sure you concentrate on what you know, and it'll help you contextualize the bit that you're having trouble putting together. But those are very, very good points. Okay, so I think you can get there with those couple of things. Anybody else having any problem at that tempo? No? Pretty good? Let's give it another go then. Exactly the same tempo. Heather, you're going to keep that elbow stationary. Oh, it's getting hot in this garage, I'm going to tell you. Next time I'm going to open the door, I think. Okay, same speed. 1, 2, 3. again. Okay. Did it go better that time? Yeah? Pretty good. How about you, Heather? Was it better that time? Your elbow looked calmer.
A little better. Just have to
Oh,
practice
good.
more.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
don't we all? That's good. I'm glad the elbow thing helped. That's really good. Is there any other questions or problems with this tune? Let me show you what you're looking for with the tempo, your eventual goal. Why don't we give it a go? I'm going to play it so I can get it in your head, but if you feel like you can play it, give it a go. See what happens. Just remember this. You put your helmet on, you get your gun up, and you keep running until you get to the other side of the beach, okay? Don't worry about it if you miss a few notes. Just let them die. They're already gone. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I got a good look at people's war faces there. Trying to get through that there. It was some good examples. So how did everybody do? Was it the hardest thing in the world? Were you able to kind of play bits of it or whatever? Pretty good? That's awesome. Very, very good. It's your tester, you know?
Pretty good, except for that one line, the third line. It's when you've got a thing going, and then all of a sudden you change the pattern. It's hard to do it.
You're correct, Bill. That's absolutely right. And like I was saying to Deborah there, just take that third line and do it on its own so that it becomes familiar and it's not such a change, exactly like you described. When you got the good thing going, you got to change it. It'll feel more comfortable. Just do that third line just by itself, okay? And that'll help that. Catherine, did you have a comment or a question there?
Yeah, I had been playing the high DEF separated instead of a slur, but at that speed, they had to slither together.
Yeah, and that would be probably a good idea. Like that would, as long as you're going the right direction with your bow, that would definitely be a good idea. So that's awesome. Go ahead and do that.
Well, I like the sound of the way you do it, but yeah, it's still an up bow.
Yeah, so you can try both. That's the other thing. You can try both and see, like, you do both if you want. I do a million things. Anyway, well, that's great. So we're going to keep working on that. We're going to get it up to a tempo that's comfortable and appropriate. That's really, really good. Let's have a go at our jigs. All right? We'll practice our jigs because we were going to see if we could speed them up a little bit, right? Now, which one are we doing first? John Allen's or Cock of the North first? Which one's coming first? John Allen's comes first? Okay, we'll do that then. 2 times each. Now let's see, how fast can anybody play me a little bit to give me an idea what tempo you're playing it at now? Anybody want to play it for me a little bit? Oh, come on. It's not that intimidating a mute button, is it? Anyone? What about you, Deborah? Why don't you give me a little bit of John Allen, see what tempo you feel comfortable at? It's probably very similar to everybody else.
I can't even remember how it goes.
Well, I'll just remind you.
Oh my God.
Here, I'll
I'm
play
sorry.
again.
Yep.
I'll play again. But that sounds like a pretty good tempo.
Yeah, that was about it. That was about
Okay, good. Okay, so let's give that a try then, everybody. Let's try both tunes 2 times each at that tempo, which is dum dee 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 da 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 dee 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 72. It's the magic tempo for jigs. For slow jigs, I should say. Okay, and I'm going to put this metronome on so keep everybody honest there, including me. So I got a heavy foot that runs in my family. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and. right? How's everybody feeling at 72? Okay? Is it doable at 72? Well, that's great, because now we're going to try it even faster. I think I'm going to up it to 80, and I'm going to see what you guys think of that, first of all. You know, we'll have to wind up like 5 minutes early because the kids are sleeping like right across the hall from the garage here. And I try to be mindful for when they're going to sleep. Although it's kind of funny because we used to have tenants in our basement. We had a family living down there when we first moved into the house. And then eventually they moved out, and we decided not to rent the place anymore because it was just a pain in the ass. So we moved the teaching studio down in the basement. And I remember telling my boy, Jerome, because he was only a little fella at the time, and I said, Jerome, it's going to be much better for you because Daddy's going to move the teaching studio downstairs so you don't have the lessons right next to your room, you know, when you're trying to go to sleep. And he goes, no, I need the sound of the fiddles so I can go to sleep. He's 11 now. I don't think he cares really, but anyway, it was pretty nice. It was a pretty nice thing to hear. Anyway, so let's gonna try it at 80. Now let me show you what that's gonna sound like first of all. Yeah, that's not much faster. I'm gonna put it at 84. Okay. Now this is a challenge, but I think you're up for it. Let's do it. Are you ready? Let's do it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and. know it's a lot. I put you through a lot of playing there tonight. I hope the right arm is feeling okay, and the left hand. That's my problem. How did we do at 84 there, people? Did it work? Yeah, that's good. Catherine looks like she's going to say something there.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can find a better copy on the session, because this one's blue and it's tiny.
Oh, Etta Sandy's book that I photocopied?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, let me see if I can find a better copy for you. Thesession.org, I'll have to, you got to cull the versions at thesession.org. They're so bad. And Sandy's version is really good. It was just I did a bad job of scanning it. But, you guys should all have Sandy's book. I wonder how we can make that happen. Because they're out there, and they need to be put out there. And so we should get together and figure out how we can make sure everybody gets a copy of that book, because it would be so good for everybody to have. But remind me about that, Catherine. Don't let me forget to find you a good version and send it to you so you don't have to kind of look through a bunch of versions, okay?
Well, actually, I have Sandy's books, so I will just blow it up.
Good. That's the best thing to do. Yeah, just blow it up right big if you need to, for sure. But that really is the best version I find.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything? Okay, that's great. So I'm going to record Wild Mountain Time as soon as we're done here. I'm going to put it up on the YouTube channel, and that's what we're going to work on there next week. We're going to give that a crack, Wild Mountain Time. And we're going to work on the first finger drop downs, which I'll also record and put on YouTube. And the second finger drop downs, you're going to have your own try at. You're just going to have an exploratory try at doing the second finger drop downs in both positions. We can talk about it next week. You're going to work on your hornpipe, the little speed a little bit. People know what they have to work on to make that happen. Whoever you might be, you know what to do. And then the jigs. 84 is where we left off, guys. 84. So that's pretty good. So if you practice the jigs with a base level of 84, that means next time we have a chance of getting it up to 90, which I'm going to tell you sounds a little like this. Oh, whoops, I put away my bow too soon. I'm paranoid about it. That's why it costs $12,000. I don't want to put it away with tension on it. I can't believe I got all the way to the East Coast with it. Woohoo! Okay, so. See that? That's 90. That's 90. And so it's not far off of what you guys are doing. And you can see that it starts to get a rhythm. Everybody feeling that rhythm at 90? Yeah. And that's kind of where the rhythm starts to come in. So that's what we're going to try next time. That's our goal, is 90 for the jigs. Now, you can try it at 90 by yourself, and that would be great if you did, but I'd be more interested in you guys playing it at 84 all week, really, really, really well. And then when we try the 90, it's going to go better. I guarantee it. All right? Okay, well, thanks for joining me in the garage there this week, guys. I think next week is going to be the garage too, okay? And you did good with the cat there, Bill. You took care of that problem. That's really good, man. Okay, see you guys.
Night.
Dan, I'm going to email you with a question.
Sure, no problem, Heather. Thank you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Thank you.